you don't realize how good something can be until you actually try out the new one. And I think it like tasking a bruiser. I was like, I thought we were pretty good in my first tasking it until we were in bruiser. And like, actually, we weren't that good. Tasking bruiser's better. And the Rift is definitely like that. You roll it and you're like, okay, I'm not rolling anything else.
It's kind of a game changer.
But Pete, I don't think he's sneaky. I think, he's sneaky, but I think he's like smart. He in that way, because look, this is what I was with you with the gi thing.
Big difference.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. There's a difference. So the gi, right? So I wasn't down for the other color gis either. All I had was white for a reason,
bro.
Like I'm like,
because you're one of my black belts.
One of the people. Yeah, it was true. But here's what Pete was thinking. This is my hypothesis. He was like, look, I get it. They like the white gi. That's the tradition. You can't argue with that. But they just haven't felt the power, the pleasure of the black gi. They just, if I can get them to somehow feel what I'm feeling about this. Okay. So he'll give you a free one. You'll be like, I can't wear this thing. And you put it on. You're like,
I feel like a ninja.
Maybe I can wear
Maybe
this
I am
thing.
a ninja after all.
Right. Pete is successful. Boom. Did that with the boots for you.
Pete gets some level of credit for his sneakiness. But just so you know, Pete Roberts, listening to this, I'm seeing your moves, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing your moves. You're not getting anything by me. I get it.
Yep.
Keep it up, Pete.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Yes. 100%. Also, what do we have? Oh, okay. Jocko has a store. It's called Jocko Store. We got some new stuff on there. By the way, hoodies are back in. By the way, that was a big item.
Hey, look at this. For winter time.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah.
Do you know the last season? You know when we got sweatshirts? May.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to, tighten things up a little bit.
You know what I'm pretty stoked about at the Jocko store is the board shorts.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah, those kind of are coming for fall, winter too, which is kind of offbeat. But hey, man, look,
we're happy.
It's a process.
Look, I've been asking for them for 3.5 years, so yes, I'm glad they're there.
There we go. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, they're pretty good. They run a little bit loose though. The board shorts. A little bit loose. They run.
That's good. That's good for me.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
I don't. You got to squeeze the tree trunk legs into. You can't be doing the skinny jeans, skinny board shorts. Doesn't work.
Yeah, that is a good point.
You want to give yourself a little bit of room.
And some stuff on there coming up too as well. So we have an email list on there if you want to sign up to get notifications for new stuff.
What, you didn't know the word notification? Is that what just happened?
No, I was about to say, if you want a notify, you know how you use the wrong word for the wrong context? Anyway, I was dotting my I's, crossing my T's. You see what I'm saying?
Like it.
Nonetheless, JockoStore.com. You want to represent while you're on this path, that's where you do it. Also, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already on your iTunes and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah. This is not the only podcast we have, by the way. We also have Jocko Unraveling, which I do with Daryl Cooper, Martyr Made fame. Sure. Of Martyr Made fame. There you go, Daryl. Grounded Podcast, which is about Jiu-Jitsu Warrior Kid Podcast. We got a little bit of time. I'm going to squeeze in some Warrior Kid podcasts in the near future. We got a YouTube channel. And if you want to subject yourself to videos where Echo Charles has complete creative control to make everything blow up, everything catch on fire, then you can check it out. And as long as it's a video less than 5 minutes, there may be cool stuff. If it's a long video that actually would be nice to see some effects in, they won't be there. No. Okay.
Anyway, yes, and you can see what life looks like if you're not, or if you're intrigued by his Texas Batman persona, voice-wise.
Good
Is that
times.
Appropriate way to put it?
We got something called Psychological Warfare. It's an album with tracks that I talk to you about overcoming your moments of weakness. You can get that on any MP3 platform out there in the world. Mm-hmm. It was the #1 selling spoken word album for 11 months on iTunes.
And it makes sense. It makes sense because it's not just artistically good or whatever. It's effective functionally.
Yeah. How many spoken word albums are there?
A ton
is the question.
There's a ton. Yeah, there's thousands.
I will say this. There's something in the universe where sometimes, you know how you're like, if your Bluetooth's on your phone, it just randomly syncs up with your car. and like at my kind of darkest or lowest moments, like it seems to like sync up and just randomly select, and it's Jocko's voice, and it's usually at max volume.
Everything happens for a
coming
reason,
in,
bro.
yeah.
You have that moment of weakness creeping in, or you were probably heading to the donut shop when that thing comes on. Also, Flipside Canvas. My brother Dakota Meyer, flipsidecanvas.com. He's making graphic representations of the path and other basically cool stuff. I know we got some coming to the office.
Badass stuff coming from Flipside.
Which ones you
got? We've got good.
Check.
And we've got Discipline Equals Freedom. We got all kinds of. We got Default Aggressive.
We're just going hot.
And we've got a bunch of posters as well of the muster and of Echelon Front. Impacting with troopers.
You mean
awesome.
you didn't get a poster that had like an outstretched hand on the cliff and another hand going to it, and it says underneath, teamwork. You know those posters, like the freaking.
You mean like the poster with the wolf howling and it says leadership on it?
Yeah, those posters. At Flipside Canvas, we do not sell those posters. We sell posters that can only be described with one word: legit. So there you go.
The posters are legit, and Dakota and Mandy on the team are awesome to work with.
We got some books about face. First edition with the foreword by me, which is just freaking an honor to be able to do. We got the code, the evaluation, the protocol, leadership strategy and tactics field manual, Warrior Kid, Way of the Warrior Kid 1, 2, and 3. By the way, Way of the Warrior Kid 4. You can pre-order it right now.
Oh, damn.
It's called Way of the Warrior. Do you know what the name of the new Way of the Warrior Kid is? You might know.
Yes.
Do you know what it is?
I do not.
It's called Way of the Warrior Kid 4 Field Manual. Premise is the last day of school. Mark's been having some hard years, but now he's kind of getting dialed in. Last day of school, kid comes up to him and says, hey, I've never really talked to you before. And I noticed, you wear that Warrior Kid. I see you doing pull-ups with your friends. And this kid's kind of shy, and he says, I really wanted to be a Warrior Kid like you, and now it's too late because I'm moving away. And I wish I could have hung out with you. And so Uncle Jake shows up, and Mark tells Uncle Jake about this and says, hey, I feel really bad. This kid's moving away. He wanted to be a Warrior Kid. He was too shy to say anything, and he's wanted me to help him, but I don't know what I could do. And Uncle Jake says, I know what you can do. Write him a field manual on how to be a Warrior Kid. So there you go. And it's the same, let's say, shape and size as the Discipline Equals Freedom field manual. Mm-hmm. You may notice some similarities when it comes to the layout. Yeah. Just the layout of the cover. Yeah. It's funny. John Bozak,
sure,
the artist, the designer. Whenever I say like a good idea, he always says, I think you might be on to something there. Mm-hmm. So I was explaining the cover, like Warrior Kid's in here, and he goes, I think you might be on to something there. So yeah, so Way of the Warrior Kid 4 is available. Mikey and the Dragons, which has been described as the greatest children's book ever written. That's what I've heard.
Sure.
I mean, I wrote it. I don't want to, be out of line here, but apparently a lot of people think. A lot of people think.
Yep.
A lot of people think. And the Discipline Equals Freedom field manual. Oh, by the way, there's a new version of that coming out. You know what it's called? Mark 1 Mod 1. Do you know what that means?
Kind of. Yeah, some cameras are like that. That's why you go Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3.
So this is the first modification to the original Discipline Equals Freedom field manual. There's a bunch of new pages in there. Wrote about a bunch of new things. So you can check that out. And then, of course, there's a little book called Extreme Ownership that I wrote with my brother Leif Babin. And the follow-up to that book, which is called The Dichotomy of Leadership. The things that you heard us talking about today, if you want to see how to take those things and apply them to what you're doing in life, whether it's your business, whether it's your a first responder, whatever you're doing, if you're interacting with other human beings, get to the source. Extreme Ownership and the Dichotomy of Leadership. Echelon Front. What's up with Echelon Front, Leif? What do you got?
Got a lot going on with Echelon Front. Working with leaders all the time. And as we talked about, it's just been phenomenal to watch them, particularly through these tough times of, some economic turmoil through COVID lockdowns and unrest riots across America, et cetera. Like it's been awesome to see companies take and apply those principles. And so we've got some great stuff going on at Echelon Front. I think particularly for EF Online, we have redesigned that thanks to the great Echo Charles, who put some mastery behind that for our landing page and design and setup, and we've streamlined the process of logging in on that thing. And we've got troopers from, I think,
I'm glad you get the great Echo Charles. I seem to end up with the average Echo Charles over here.
I think we're I think
Are you happy with that? Is that a good joke?
Like Chuck.
That? Cool.
I think we have 46 countries around the world represented right now.
Yeah, EF Online, what we're doing is our goal, our mission at Echelon Front is to teach the leadership lessons that we learned on the battlefield that we translate into everyday business, everyday life, how to lead up and down the chain of command. It doesn't matter if you're the CEO or a frontline person that's not in charge of anyone. When you are interacting with other human beings, you are in a leadership position. You can do things to improve the mission. You can do things that will improve your station in life. Go to efonline.com. We got courses about this stuff. We do live training all the time. If you want to ask me a question, if you want to ask Leif a question about something he said today, go on there. Go to efonline.com for that. We are standing by to help spread the word. We have the muster. The muster there's only one this year due to COVID. And it is going to be in Dallas, Texas, December 3rd and 4th. I just did a gig and there's 500 people there. There's social distancing happening. So it's going to be something like that.
We'll take precautions, but the muster's on.
Yeah, the muster's on.
We were super excited to meet with troopers. It's been such a bummer to have canceled two of them.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to have this one here in December in Dallas.
Here's another bummer is that since we canceled the other two, most people at the other two transferred their tickets to this one, which means it's going to sell out like they always do. So if you want to come, just try and register early. It's extremeownership.com. And we also have EF Overwatch. From day one, we've had people asking us, hey, where can we get people that understand these leadership principles? Eventually, we started this company, EF Overwatch. Go to efoverwatch.com. We got Mike Sorelli at the helm. If you heard him on Podcast 244, him and George Randall, they geek out about hiring and getting people into companies, taking leaders, military leaders that understand these principles, train in these principles, and then show up at companies and help you lead your company to victory. Go to efoverwatch.com. And if you want to help service members, active service members, retired service members, their families, Gold Star families around the world, then you can check out Mark Lee's mom. She has a charity organization, Mama Lee. If you want to donate or get involved, then you can go check out americasmightywarriors.org. And if you're a masochist, if you like pain and you just want more of my discordant declarations, or if you want more punishment in the form of Echo's disoriented diatribes, or you want to get some more of Leif's prolonged proclamations, then you can find us on the interwebs. Leif is on Twitter, at Leif Babin. He's on Instagram, which Echo will only refer to as the Gram, at Real Leif Babin. And he's on Facebook at Leif Babin. And, of course, Echo is at Echo Charles. And I am at Jocko Willink. And thanks to General Bruce Clark for your service to our great nation, for your leadership and guidance that continues to have an impact today. And thanks to all of our servicemen and women who are out there leading and also having an impact in the world by protecting our freedom. And of course, to police and law enforcement and firefighters and paramedics and EMTs and dispatchers and correctional officers and Border Patrol and Secret Service and all other first responders. thank you for protecting and keeping us safe here at home. And to everyone else out there, remember these lessons from General Clark. Remember that the commander must be a model soldier. He must master the